I haven't got time to mark this motherfucker. Here we go again. We can't hear anybody. Nobody can talk to anybody.
You guessed your pressure points with your two favorite hosts. I'm D. This is Stinky AJ. We're coming at you with Season 8, Episode 2, The Tiniest Giant. I don't even... Take from it with what you fucking will. It's going to be a fun episode, so grab your smallest and your biggest drink, and let's get to it, bitch.
Well, turn the fucking thing off, you dumbass.
It's a phenomenal title. Phenomenal title.
Thank you. It's a very D title,
if
I'm being honest. Welcome back. We already did all of our catch-up.
Yeah, we did.
So I guess we can't really say how's your week. How was your week? What'd you get done this week?
Oh, you know, not too bad. Promotion at work.
Yeah, not bad. Congrats, by the way.
Thank you. I couldn't remember who was supposed to do this episode, so I also wrote an episode for today.
Yeah.
Which I guess I can give like a little coming soon, a little teaser.
Fuck it.
I cover a disaster. It's a very D episode.
Ooh, it is, yeah.
And it's fun and it's really funny.
Okay. Hell yeah. I'm excited.
And just, you know, let's just say PCBs are nothing. Have nothing on what this small Missouri town had going for it.
Fuck yeah, sign me up.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Yeah, not bad. I just got off my 312s. This is my first day off, so
yeah,
I'm sleepy.
Yeah, no shit, dude. You up all night now, though?
I'm drinking a lot of caffeine, and it's 6
that's
p.m.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I'm gonna be up for a bit.
Yeah, okay.
And then it's my birthday tomorrow.
Yeah, true.
Not gonna do anything.
I was gonna ask if you wanted to do anything, but
probably just watch a movie and go out to dinner and maybe play some turkey.
Yeah. Been slightly addicted, so it's been good. Yeah.
Dude, my wife is so far ahead of me in Tarkov.
Yeah.
She's been playing at
Except
work.
for missions.
Except for missions. She doesn't do missions, but like her hideout, she has everything done.
Really?
Everything built.
God damn, dude.
She's got so much money.
God damn.
Bountiful wealth. And
good
just,
shit.
Yeah, I'm way ahead in missions, but she doesn't do the missions.
Yeah, hey, it's fair.
She's been killed by Bird Eye and Knight so many times.
Makes two of us.
They've been very aggressive this wipe.
Played today yesterday I killed them twice and died to them twice, and I played 5 raids.
Jeez.
So 4 out of 5. Today I died to them twice in 3 raids.
What maps?
All customs. I've just been doing a bunch of customs shit. So,
hell yeah.
Jesus, just like
they're on it.
Fucking
I've loved this customs
how
rework,
often they fucking show up, man. But yeah, so fucking Tarkov, dude.
Yeah, Tarkov talk, Turkey talk,
Turkey talk.
Remind me to put Tarkov in the description for clickbait.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll put the title of the podcast episode: "New Tarkov wipe?" Question mark?
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
The smallest giant.
Real. Seriously. The Tarkov destroyer. Is Tarkov dead?
Is Tarkov dead?
Dumb shit. Like that.
Nikita fucked up again.
At Nikita.
Yeah.
Oh well, welcome back, everybody.
Enough Tarky talk.
Enough video game talk for those of you who aren't interested in it. Yeah, I suppose I can just jump right in. No, I'm not going to jump right in. I was actually going to talk about
model kits.
No, there's a show on Netflix called American Primeval.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yes, I started it this week.
Is it a TV show or a movie?
It's a TV show. It's six episode series, limited series, yeah. Started it this week. I watched 2 episodes, I think. It's good. I was hoping that it was going to be. So, did you watch the like Netflix Waco TV show? Not like the documentary series. They did like a dramatized Waco series.
No, I watched the documentary and it was really good.
So, the dramatized series is still really good, and from everything that I've learned about Waco, like they stick to things pretty well, but obviously like you add like an element of drama and like some characters that don't exist. It's fair. It's a dramatization. Like I get it. I was hoping, so I think that that American Primeval is done by the same people who did Waco because it has a little bit of crossover with cast.
Okay.
So I was curious because like the big crux of it was that this show was going to be about Brigham Young and his Mormon cronies.
The Mormon militia.
And and they touch a little bit on the Mormon Meadows massacre. In the trailer, they kind of show like, oh yeah, the massacre. They show like Jim Bridger and all this shit. And I was like, okay, I'm intrigued. Like,
yeah, I would love a mini series about the war between the federal government and the Mormons.
Yeah. So went into it with really high hopes. I still enjoy it, and I'm still going to finish it, and I do recommend it to anybody that enjoys historical dramatizations because I'm a fucking slut for that shit. I mean, that's what this show is.
It is, yeah. Except we don't add characters.
Yeah, yeah, true. But it wasn't. So they do, I guess, mini first episode, spoiler alert, they do the Mountain Meadows massacre in the first episode.
Nice.
And like, obviously the show is kind of the situation after it. I was hoping that we would get like a couple episodes build up.
Yeah, I kind of want the build up
and then like a full episode of insanity and then a couple episodes after. But it seems like their focus is more on like the Mormons doing their best to like cover it all up and like blaming the local tribes. Like they go into like Paiutes, the Utes, the Shoshone even.
Yeah.
And like I enjoy it. I think I was just expecting it to be a like maybe like 2 month earlier timeline. Because they really do. They jump straight into it, and they're like, they get into when Brigham Young did, where he's like, I can't think of what the word is called or what the word is, but when he's like, oh, nobody enters, nobody leaves, kind of thing.
Yeah, his full declaration thing.
Yeah. So that's like 15 minutes into the first episode, you find out, and they're with the Fancher party. And so I was like as soon as I heard the name, I was like, oh fuck, like wait a minute,
like
hold on.
Shit.
Yeah, so I'm intrigued. I kind of wanted to see like all of the problems that they would run into with like the locals and everything, and why they were so shitty to Fanchers. But we'll see. I still have a ton left to watch. The guy that they did for the casting for Brigham Young is such a rat fuck little piece of shit. He does.
So it was good casting.
Yeah, he looks just like him before he's got his big old beard and shit. Yeah. He looks like young Brigham Young, but he's got this rat fuck little voice. And I'm like, oh my God. It's good. It's good. Yeah. I can't recommend it enough. If you have Netflix, check it out. If you don't have Netflix, sail the high seas. And if you do have Netflix, sail the high seas anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. American Primeval. Check it out. I've enjoyed the first few episodes, so yeah, I'll leave it at that. We'll discuss the rest of the series next week when I inevitably finish it this week.
Perfect.
All right. I suppose now we'll dip on into the episode. Born in Austria, 1899.
Oh, I know this guy.
Probably. It would not surprise me if you knew of him.
I know everybody who was born in Austria from 1880 until 1940.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So 1899, Adam Rayner was born, and his parents kind of felt like something was off.
That's always a good sign when you get born, and immediately your parents are like,
So he just didn't really grow. As he was growing up. I guess he wasn't really growing up. He was just as he was upping, I guess. I don't know.
He was just
as he was
aging.
Aging. Now both parents were average height. They didn't have any like glaring genetic diseases. Mind you, this is 1899, so
it's not like they had genetic really testing.
Yeah. And as Adam grew older, I think when he was 17, 18. He was just like, this is one of those cases where it's like you hold on to the quarter of an inch. Homie held on to the quarter of an inch. He was a 4 foot quarter of an inch.
Damn.
At 18. Yeah. So
somehow shorter than my wife.
Oh,
not by much.
Yeah.
But
Dude he was just a little guy. But strangely enough, and they didn't really know the reason for this. You probably will. His hands and feet were like average human size.
Yeah.
So generally when you have like dwarfism, or I don't know what that's probably the PC version. I don't know.
Yeah.
Generally, like, it's a little bit more to scale. Mind you,
except for like the head is a lot of times
the head is like average
regular
person,
size.
yeah.
I really got to watch my
I know
average size.
It's a rough one. Putting us on the chopping block this episode. This is gonna be the one.
This is gonna show up in the court proceedings.
Yeah, this will be the one
after the grooming.
We might not have an episode 3. You might have written those 3 episodes in vain. Yeah. Next week we're gonna be doubling down on right wing policies.
Yeah,
and QAnon.
We're actually going on Joe Rogan next week,
and you can catch PP Coin.
PP Coin coming soon. Okay.
Yeah, we're partnering with Hawk Tua Girl.
Yeah. Okay. There is a way to do the cryptocurrency and not have it a rug pull. And I would love to have PP Coin and have no one buy it and have it just exist in the world.
Oh yeah, I think it'd be hilarious.
I would buy it.
And then rug pull each other.
I'm gonna rug pull you. You're gonna put $10 in. It's gonna increase the cost by a ton, and then I'm gonna withdraw that billion coins.
And then
I'll
create D coin, and you'll buy in, and I rug pull you, and then you create AJ coin.
But the whole thing,
back and forth.
We're earning more money somehow every single time.
Yeah.
So we're
rug pulling one other person to put like 15 cents in. Exactly. Hey, profit is profit. Yeah, dude, fucking. We're done for after this episode.
Oh yeah, we're screwed.
But yeah, so head for people with dwarfism is generally average size, but for him, it was his hands and his feet were average size, which is kind of like, that's rough.
It's not unheard of, but
dude had a size 10 shoe at 4 foot tall.
Woo!
That's rough. That shit's tough as hell.
So if he sat on the ground, with his heels on the ground and his feet up, he'd be as tall as his shoes.
Oh, you turned away. I thought we lost recording for you. Turned away from the mic, and so it sounded like you stopped talking. Say it again. Sorry.
So if he sat down on the ground with his heel down, he'd be as tall as his shoe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he could make like an equilateral triangle.
Yeah, he could almost make, if he puts his arms out, it's a square.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, perfect square. And World War I breaks out, and little Adam. I guess I shouldn't say little Adam.
Yeah, that's
a little rough.
That's
rough.
That's
oh,
rough.
God. Oh God, the puns in this one.
Fuck.
Yeah, I didn't write in these ones like I did in the poop episodes. Now, regular sized for dwarfism Adam.
Yes.
Decides he's going to enlist. Unfortunately, though, the cutoff in Austria is 4'10". So he comes in with a chip on his shoulder. He comes in and he's like, I'm going to join the military. I'm going to fight for what I believe is right. And they classify him as having dwarfism, which this is the first time he's been classified as having it. And they send him away and they tell him, hey, man, grow 10 inches before the war is over and you're welcome to join.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Helpful.
Yeah. Wow. Stop being sad is what they told him.
Just you pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Yeah, right. It breaks his heart, man. He goes home. I would assume he cries quite a bit. He's pretty upset. A year goes by and, he goes, I have grown a little bit this year. I'm going to go try to join again. Who knows? Maybe they'll change the cutoff because a bunch of people have died.
They're more desperate now.
Yeah, maybe they're a little more desperate. They lowered the average height. I don't know. Or the expected height. So he shows up. This is, I think he's like 19 now. He grew 2 inches this year, which
Ooh.
is like 5% of his fucking
Yeah, that's
height. Like
that's a chunk.
nuts. That's impressive. He's pretty proud of himself. He walks in standing tall and
standing.
yeah, as tall as he can. And he's still a few inches too short. And they send him away and they go, "Hey man, there's always the next World War, right?"
And they go, "What?"
He runs into some guy there and he's like, "I'll be a successful painter then too."
Yeah.
Oh no. There's the Hitler crossover.
There's
oh
the
god.
crossover. Oh fuck.
So at this point, Adam just decides, fuck it. He throws his hands up in the air and he's like, maybe the military just isn't for me. I'll never be able to get tall enough for it. Fuck it. And I mean, it's fair. He's been turned down twice for something he can't control. Like, what do? Eat more 1910 Wheaties? Like,
yeah.
Fuck, man.
World War I Austrian Wheaties. Like,
you got to get on one of those machines that like stretches your legs out, hang upside down and shit.
Yeah, hang
lengthen
upside down
your
for
spine.
a bit. Get on one of those. I love like mid-century exercise, like pictures of gyms from the mid-century, because it's all like, stand on this pad and we'll jiggle you for an hour.
It's like those medieval torture devices where it's like somebody's on 2 different gears and they like twist them.
And
the meme is like, for a half a second, their back had never felt better. And I'm like, that's probably what he was doing. That's how he grew his 2 inches. So Adam decides, fuck it, whatever, I'll just move on with my life and go live my dreams, not in the military.
He'll probably live a lot longer.
Mm-hmm, true, yeah. The likelihood of that, my assumption, is quite high.
Yes.
Now, most people, the average person stops growing at about 21 years old. That's kind of like when you have a good idea of, this is my adult permanent height, right?
Yeah.
Until you start to get
stopped
too old
growing
and
when
then
I
you
was
start
like
shrinking.
15.
Yeah. I mean, and everyone's so fucking different. It's wild. But that, like, I guess we'll continue saying just the average person. This is an average person episode. He's the anomaly. Oh, God.
Oh no, you can't say that. You can't say that.
Oh, shit.
Suddenly the painter comes back. An anomaly.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have J.D. Vance on the show next week now that we've been canceled. God, no thanks.
Marjorie Taylor Greene coming in to talk about
the
cloud
weather.
seeding. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Dipshits.
Yeah. Adam decides, like, whatever, do my thing. But he didn't stop growing. After
21?
the age of 21.
Oh,
yeah, 21.
Okay. 21.
Over the course of his 20s and into his early 30s, his body just kind of...
Sorry, smashed my ear into the headphone.
His body just kind of took off.
So he just kept growing.
Yeah. What he couldn't do when he was a kid, he was doing now in like a much later stage of his life.
Strange. Okay.
And it wasn't slowing down. It wasn't stopping. He decided, it's time to go in and see a doctor. I got to figure out what the fuck is going on. He couldn't stand for like even just short periods of time. It would cause him so much pain because of how much his body was growing. God, like I know that it's hard to remember growing pains.
No,
when
I remember
you were
growing
younger.
pains. Yeah.
Growing pains sucked ass.
Now
dude.
imagine being 30 and having growing
exactly,
pains.
dude. That would be fucking
Holy
terrible.
Fuck.
Yeah, he could like barely stand up for very long. He was starting to lose his hearing because of how quickly his spine is growing and shit.
His spine is growing faster than his nerves.
Yeah.
Like something's fucked up.
Walking would wear him down, and so
he was probably eating so much to maintain that growth.
Oh, dude, I'm sure. So before he had gone into the doctors, he was actually actively looking into moving into an assisted living facility because he's like, I can't do this. Like, I can't fucking...
just can't even...
Yeah, I can't get up out of bed in the morning because it hurts so much.
You know what they should... What he should have done? has broken his limbs at the growth plates.
He should have just stopped growing.
He should have stopped growing.
Yeah, that would have been the military's response.
Yeah.
Oh, you're too tall for
You're
the
too tall for the
military.
trenches now, dude. Should have
yeah.
taken some arsenic or something.
Something like that. I don't know. Maybe,
Meth.
Yeah.
What can you get over the counter at this
Should have
time
gotten
period?
big into coffee. Isn't that a fucking... I don't know. That was always the thing for my parents. They would be like,
that was the
coffee
lie
stunts your
Mormons
growth.
tell their kids.
Yeah, yeah. Every short Mormon is a coffee drinker.
Yeah.
Let's see. So he goes into the doctor's office, and they are in shock when this now, not joking, 7-foot tall man tells them that a mere decade ago he was 4 feet tall. They're like, that's impossible. That there's no fucking way. And he goes, no, like this has been the case since I was 19. I just continued growing and growing. It hasn't stopped. He'd grown, it was like 3-point-something inches per year.
Holy shit.
Yeah. That's
huge.
Yeah, that's
3-point-something inches. That's well above average. If we're talking about average people,
that is
3 inches
insane.
is definitely above average. In fact,
there-
it probably hurts.
There's a picture
we
that
already know
I'll
about
make
that.
sure is on Instagram, and it's his height when he was at like 18, and his height when he was in his 30s, and in between they have the average adult height, and it looks like you were to say, this was me at like 9, this is me at 21, and this is me like when I continue growing. I don't even know. Like, it's such a wild, like 4 feet or 3 feet
That's
in
crazy.
10 years is fucking preposterous, especially for like an adult.
Yeah, and I gotta imagine if he doesn't already, he's gonna start getting some heart problems.
Can you imagine how many
Like-
fucking clothes he was going through?
Oh my god! Every year he'd
Yeah.
have to size up.
Every quarter.
Yeah, every quarter he'd have to get his pants lengthened.
So you remember his shoe size 10, right?
Yeah.
It was 19.
Oh,
it nearly
shit.
doubled now.
So he got recruited to play for the NBA,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. He created the New York Knicks.
Yeah.
So, dude just blew up, literally, like sky high. It is insane. Like, I can't imagine being 2 feet taller than I am. And then to imagine that I would, if I had what he had, I would be 2 feet taller than I am in 7 years. At the same rate that he
jeez.
grew. That is fucking insane.
So he's got to have like a pituitary issue going on or something like that. Something
for real.
crazy.
So the next sentence, I was actually gonna see if you were able to grasp what was going on with it. You're right.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Testing began, and they discovered that he had a tumor in his pituitary gland. They determined he had one of the worst cases of, I'm gonna fuck this up, acromegaly. I don't know.
Acromegaly?
Yeah, acromegaly. That they had ever seen.
Yeah, that's pretty intense.
Yeah. So you'll know way more about this, but the tumor had caused his pituitary gland to produce growth hormones at such an alarming rate that he was able to consistently grow 3 inches a fucking year. Like,
Yeah, normally you're not really producing much of that after
Yeah.
21.
yeah, but this fucking, this
you just keep
tumor was
going.
just fucking him over. He very likely did have some form of dwarfism
Initially.
initially,
And then he got
but
the
because
tumor,
of this tumor, now
which then just put
he
it the other
doesn't-
way.
Yeah. They knew, the doctors were looking at him. They knew if they didn't take care of it soon, he would basically just keep growing until his body completely shut down. And I mean, at this point, it pretty much was starting to.
Yeah, well, to put it in perspective for somebody, I think at least anyone in our generation can recognize in America, Andre the Giant had acromegaly.
My next notes.
Fuck. Damn, okay, then I won't go into it.
yeah, you're good.
I'll wait for you to say it.
Same like you said, it's the same
diagnosis.
condition. Andre was known for being an iconic wrestler. He started movies, TV shows.
Known to be an alcoholic because he was in so much pain from this condition.
There is a picture of him with a 12-ounce beer can, and it looks like he's holding a toy.
It looks like a doll.
I'll try to get that one up
on
on our thing as well. I want to say there was a story about him drinking like 11 beers at once or something, like some preposterous amount. He was actually in a Goonies music video. It's like Too Good for Goonies or some goofy shit. Yeah. He was just kind of an enigma in like 70s and 80s.
And if I remember right, it was
Hollywood.
the same thing. I'm pretty sure he had a tumor on his pituitary gland.
Yeah, I think
Andre the Giant. I'm pretty sure he did.
Is that what the condition is?
I mean, acromegaly is just like
It's
growing
just
too big. It's not saying what the source of it is.
I see.
But I'm pretty sure Andre the
wouldn't
Giant.
surprise me.
I'll Google it.
Yeah, take a look at it because he
it
very
might be
well
on
might
there.
have. So I guess to like
Holy shit!
what?
Andre the Giant, 7'4", 520 pounds. Had a pituitary gland brain tumor that produced huge amounts of human growth hormone.
So it was the same.
The tumor, combined with his unhealthy lifestyle, caused him to develop diabetes and die of heart failure. He was probably also doing coke, like every wrestler was during this time period.
Seriously, though, at 12 years old, he was 6'3".
Holy shit.
That's like a foot and a half above the average for
That's
a fucking
huge.
12-year-old.
12.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said,
He was
his peak.
He was
peak
a wrestling attraction in Japan.
Yeah, like 2
I'm learning
years,
so
2
much
years
about Andre
before
the
he
Giant.
died. I think so. Yeah.
No,
In
at 24.
He went back to Japan in
back.
1990 and 91, I think. Yeah, I glanced through his stuff. But
That's crazy.
he did. He was like worldwide.
That's
I'm
crazy.
fairly certain there are Japanese commercials with him in it.
Oh, that's
I'm like
badass.
95%
That's
sure I've seen that. Yeah.
badass.
I'll have to look it up. I'll see if I can find something. But yeah. Now imagine, like, if you've seen The Princess Bride, is the one that he's known most for. If you imagine how huge that person is, now imagine that person became that big in 10 years from being 4 feet tall.
Yeah, so it's Andre the Giant starting with dwarfism. Like,
It's insane.
that has to hurt so
That is
bad.
fucking terrifying.
Like, we cannot understate the pain.
If you want another one to look up, there is Fred Gwynn. He played Herman Munster, a.k.a. Frankenstein in the 60s show The Munsters. I never watched it. I've only heard of it.
Wow, you didn't watch it?
But I know who he is because he was in Pet Sematary from the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
He's Judd across the street. He had the same condition, but I think they got to it a little bit sooner because he only got up to 6'5". He wasn't huge, but you can see it in, like, you can see the condition kind of in his jaw because of how big his, like, Chad chin is. Fred Gwynn, check it out.
Gwynn.
Yeah, he's got, like, that gigantism, like, features.
Before I finish looking him up, I just found this small anecdote that I want to share about Andre the Giant. Because, you know, the biggest thing that I think that really persists in his memory is that how gentle and kind he was. Like,
he really
was such
truly
a sweetheart.
was a gentle giant, yeah.
So, according to this, he would love to, you know, buy the drinks, buy the food. He would go up and, like, oh, I'm going out to dinner with friends. He'd just pay for the whole thing. And he loved doing that. And apparently in one weekend in Toronto, he ran up a $40,000 alcohol bill.
Yeah.
But he was hanging out, of course, with Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Of course.
who snuck out. Like, oh, I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And he went and paid. And Andre the Giant and Wilt Chamberlain picked up Arnold Schwarzenegger, who is small compared to
Is there
these
a
people.
picture of it?
No.
Oh my God.
There might be
dude.
somewhere. And carried him from the table and put him on top of his car. Because Arnold is small compared to these guys.
Yeah, I mean, even Wilt Chamberlain is small compared to him.
Well, yeah.
I mean, not small, but he's taller than Wilt. Shit's wild.
Wilt Chamberlain, so tall,
I
wasn't
think
he?
He was 7'1", 7 foot.
Holy shit!
Up
Like
there.
imagine that friend group. Imagine
yeah.
Andre the Giant, Wilt Chamberlain, and Arnold.
Literally freaks
That
of
would be-
nature.
Can you imagine how much they ate?
Dude, Wilt Chamberlain has the record in basketball for most points scored in a game. So to have Arnold Schwarzenegger, like the
Huge
world's
bodybuilder.
strongest man, like that whole thing, the world's biggest man, and then the best basketballer that like ever played kind of shit.
And all in the time period where Conan the Destroyer was out.
Yeah. And it's just like,
Imagine-
what the
holy
fuck,
shit.
dude? It's just, it's such
just a
funny
power team.
picture to imagine.
Yeah,
is
I
those
imagine them at a
three
table
being
on
buddies. Yeah.
at Chili's, and they're
Yeah.
just eating the place out of food.
Yeah, they're like, "Do you have 52 racks of ribs for just me?"
Yeah,
Like,
I need the entire cow.
crazy shit. Fun anecdote about Fred and Andre the Giant. Not really fun, kind of sad, but kind of cool. They both died the same year. Both died in 1993.
Really,
Yeah,
that is interesting.
Mm-hmm. And Fred Gwynn was actually born, I think he was born while Adam Rayner was still alive. And so that like both of them were born while he was still alive. So I was like, oh, that's fucking interesting.
That is interesting.
So yeah, we'll get back to Adam.
All right, sorry. Yeah, that was a brief aside.
You're good. You're good. He ends up agreeing with doctors that the best course of action is to remove this tumor. Now, mind you, this is 1930s Austria. And they're like, hey, we want to remove a tumor that's literally in your fucking
I'm
head.
gonna go out on a limb and say that the 1930s was not a great time for brain surgery.
No,
It's not the worst time, but
I can't imagine.
doubt it's the
I think
best
there
time.
was only one brain surgery that they knew how to do, and it was for women.
It was for historical women. If you couldn't masturbate it out of them, yeah,
If you couldn't sit them on a washing machine, just let them
and
ride
cure
it out.
their, write it out.
But yeah, so they're like, that's the only way we're going to be able to get rid of this. And he just goes, you know what? I am in unbelievable pain. Mind you, it's not only that his body is growing, his skull is having to grow as well because he's getting features of gigantism. He went from like a standard sized head for someone with dwarfism to now like that square gigantism face. And it's just like, can you imagine your skull literally just like growing and like breaking itself and shifting plates? That would be fucking hell.
Well,
man.
the problem with this acromegaly is that your brain can't grow anymore because it's not like the skull the skull grows out, but it can't expand that space.
Yeah.
So some people will start having neurological problems from the brain trying to grow within the confines.
Oh, Jesus. Almost like
of the
hemorrhages
skull.
and shit.
Just like pushing up against the
That
side.
would fucking kill.
You're more
man.
prone to like
Be miserable. That would be fucking terrible. You'd probably be so much more at risk of brain injuries too. 'Cause it's like
it's gotta be.
if it's in contact with your skull, like you're supposed to have a little bit of wiggle room in there.
Yeah.
At least that's what my grandma always said.
Yeah, a little wiggle room.
Yeah, I got a little wiggle room in there. That's why I got the echo when you talk into my ear.
Yeah.
But yeah, his eyebrows and jaw are growing larger, more extreme.
Yeah,
more,
you start getting these heavy set features.
more like pronunciated and everything. And worst of all, this is the biggest one that I'm like, I can't even fucking fathom it. His spine can't keep up with the growth.
Damn.
So it started to curve pretty early on, and the growth spurts would just continue the curvature worse and worse and worse. Like,
Oh, so it's just like
it wasn't like you would just like keep bending over. It was like it would just keep expanding outwards, and it just like the curve in his spine. I bet if he was standing upright, he would have easily reached like 8 feet tall.
Oh yeah.
If they documented
if they could like crack that back in
right?
straight.
Yeah. If only he had a TikTok chiropractor.
I was about to say that, you fucker. Yeah.
A Brazilian TikTok chiropractor could have really done.
They
work
should have
on
just
him.
tied his head to the bedpost and then swung him back and forth.
Should have put him back on the machine.
Back on the machine, yeah.
That he was trying to get to be taller. But yeah, dude, like That would be so fucking miserable. Just pain everywhere in your body.
Oh yeah, it's hell every time. Like, it's such a sad disease.
Yeah.
This gigantism or acromegaly. Everybody who has talked about it publicly, who has it or has had it, just, I mean, having chronic pain, anybody with chronic pain will kind of start to understand the mental effects that chronic pain has on you. Like,
it's nuts.
so many people with chronic pain are like, I'd rather just die.
Yeah.
Like, than deal with this.
It's like, no wonder people get addicted to opiates, because it's the only thing that's given them fucking comfort in the last few years.
Yeah, 100%.
You're really hitting the nail on the head with some of your references, because you know how you said, oh, like, it's hell for these people.
Yeah.
The next line in my notes is Adam knew the risks and agreed as his life had become hell.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. This is a very
you just know.
interesting
Do you have my
disorder.
notes pulled up?
Yeah,
in front of you?
I found the exact Wikipedia article that these are copy and pasted directly from.
True. That's actually a good point.
Yeah. No, I'm on a random page about I'm on Fred Gwynn's obituary.
Oh, okay.
From the Deseret News.
Oh,
which is
interesting.
interesting
Nice
that they had a
local
little
news.
thing.
Local bias news. Not
Local
bad.
bias news. My grandfather worked for.
I
No,
think
he did
that's
Salt Lake Tribune.
the fourth time you've used the word that was going to be in my notes next. It's been impressive. Hell yeah.
This is an interesting
I'm not
one.
even upset. It's
Weird.
kind of a trip.
Funky.
Yeah. So after hours of surgery,
I'm seeing into the future because the caffeine.
yeah, right. They deem it a success. He's not really able to walk out of there by any means. But the tumor is removed. He rests, heals up. They tell Adam to return for a checkup in a couple of months, because they're like, hey, we want to check to see how much your growth has changed.
Yeah, that's
if
good
it
to know.
has at all slowed down. When he returns, they discovered that his condition had been cured. Mind you, his pituitary gland is still reacting a little bit, but not as extremely as before. His final height at this point is 7'8".
Holy shit.
His back, unfortunately, his spine is still growing,
Ooh.
despite them getting rid of this tumor. I would assume that a lot of it is just his pituitary is still kicking out some of the growth hormones.
Yeah.
And so most of that is just going to go into your fucking back. So his back gets even fucking worse. And they didn't quite know what to do for him at this point, because you can't just go in and like cut it out. Like, you don't just go in and start taking out like,
it's not like you could use a melon baller and just get in there.
Yeah,
it's super complex.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the 30s, so they're like, we don't even know if we took the right thing out in the first place. So yeah, they tell him, there's not a lot that we can do, but just know that you aren't going to be growing at such an extreme rate. It's just going to kind of taper off. We just don't know how long it's going to take.
That's fine then. I'll keep living in
perfectly fine. So shortly after his surgery, after he receives this news, he checks himself into an assisted living facility. He ends up living with like a couple of roommates, and
They always had him get the cereal box off the top shelf.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The big thing that like the person that ran the facility was just like, he never caused any problems. He was always so kind to everyone that he lived with. He lived in this facility for like 15 years.
Damn.
As his spine kept growing, he didn't really let it just like make him bedridden. He kind of still insisted on being able to stand up, like get food for himself, and kind of just like do his thing. I think that a lot of that was probably just like he grew up being like the runt of the group. Like I bet he was just shit on all the time, and then now all of a sudden, like he was like the runt of the litter when he was a kid, and then when he's older, he's again an anomaly.
Yeah, on the opposite end.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's so unfortunate. So I'm sure a lot of it was just like, I don't want all of the help from everyone. I just don't want to die in my home.
Well, I'm sure a lot of it is also like, I was bullied. I'm I was treated so poorly. I know what damage that can do. I'm gonna be as nice as I can to everybody.
Exactly. And he was apparently just a fucking absolute sweetheart, and did his best to take care of himself. In 1950, Adam passed away of peritonitis after a failed surgery on his intestines, which I thought was interesting that it wasn't, that it wasn't, he didn't like die of like his back exploding out of his, like his spine exploding out of his back or anything. I was like, oh, well, that's interesting. But it's estimated that he ended up at right around 7'10". So he was 51 years old. And he is the only person known to be both a dwarf and a giant.
And
fucking
there are photos of him?
Wild.
Are there?
Yeah, there are tons.
Let me pull one up. I've seen this guy before. I've seen some of his photos.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Some people, what's that? There's a weird niche in the internet where it's kind of like creepypasta, but it's really just like pictures.
Yeah.
Like old pictures, and some are edited, some are not, and it's like, oh, this is kind of creepy. His photos are used on some of those.
Oh, I'm sure.
They're used in a lot. There's a good amount of photos of him, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, there's like,
I don't know if like,
oh, I see the one you were talking about with the scale,
where it's like the silhouettes that they have. Yeah, that shit's wild. It's impressive.
Yes, that is. There's some good photos. So check out the Instagram. We're gonna have some good posts on this.
Yeah, at points-o-pressure or Instagram.com/points-o-pressure. Check us out there. She puts a lot of work into it. Also, if you guys would like an ad-free version of the show, go check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/points-of-pressure. Yeah, we do an exclusive episode every month when we remember to. We got some sloppy seconds episodes on there, like 30 or something.
Oh, his back is messed up.
Yeah, dude, yeah. It's so sad.
Holy
like seeing
moly. You can just see it from...
Yeah.
There's one where he's standing next to just
they have him
an average height,
sideways.
and he's got the scale, and you can just see him slanting.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did you see the one where they took the picture from the side? You can see how hunched over he is.
Let's see.
That one's fucked. It's so sad to see him in that state,
awful.
to know that
imagine.
like dude struggled his whole life.
Homie could pull off a top hat and a suit.
Oh
though.
yeah.
Holy shit, he could
but
pull that
I
off.
also wonder how much money he spent on suits.
Oh,
over the course of that decade.
Had to be crazy.
He was growing out of them at an alarming rate.
I mean, at some point, the tailor should just do it for free.
Yeah, right. They're like, listen, you've bought 30 suits in 2
you've
years.
You've
dude.
paid my mortgage for 2 years.
For real.
You're set. Dang, he knew how to dress.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
You know what? That was a stylish
fucking 20s.
gentleman.
But yeah.
Dang.
So, yeah,
No,
check
he's
out
got
Patreon.
a fat cigar in one of these. Hell yeah.
There's also one with a huge black bar over his dick because he's naked.
It's huge. Yeah, I saw that one too.
Yeah. I like to imagine that didn't grow at all. But it's been that way since he was 18.
Yeah. No, it just
42% of his height was his dick.
No. You lost that.
But yeah, check us out on Patreon. AJ's got his series called Voices, so go give it all a listen. We also have a free tier that has some stuff in there, so yeah, go take a look. You got those names?
Yeah, we got Minnie D, Thomas, and Toddle Waddle. Toddle Waddle, who has not listened to the first episode yet.
The board.
board.
Minnie D it's in the name. He is under 4 foot.
Yes.
Thomas, average height. Toddle Waddle, surprisingly, 8'7". He's 1 inch shorter than the tallest person on Earth. I don't know if that's the tallest person on Earth.
I don't know, but
he's up there. He's
up there.
huge. Yeah, he's so tall.
120 pounds.
Yeah.
Crazy.
He turns to the side and he disappears.
Yeah. He looks like he could be in about half my episodes.
If he were in LA right now, he would be blown away.
Yeah. The heat would keep him aloft. All right, then we've got Abby, AJ's Third Nut, Nordic Thunder, Weston, Dark Runner, D's Nuts, G-Dog, Grover, Laura Revo, and Lindo. Thank you all so much. We really appreciate you being here and, letting us do these goofy, fun episodes.
Yeah, you guys are great. And as always, if you guys ever have any recommendations for movies, TV shows,
or if you
books,
want any recommendations.
Yeah, music, if you want recommendations, we have plenty. Just listen to the entire back catalog of our our series, and you'll get plenty of recommendations.
Plenty of recommendations.
Or you can just reach out to us on Instagram at pointsopressure. Feel free to email us at ppdnaj@gmail.com or go to our website, pointsopressure.com, and send us a voicemail or an email, and we will catch you guys next Monday.